Hi there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, and welcome or welcome back to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at what makes you unforgettable. So before we get started with your pile selection, I want to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, Keen. So this is how my best friend almost ruined my relationship. It started with a missed call from Emily on my boyfriend Kyle's phone at a weird time. Then I saw a missed call from Kyle on Emily's phone as well. I wondered why they'd call each other while I'm at work. My heart raced. I trust them, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. I felt uneasy about Emily before. A year ago, I noticed how she and Kyle seemed to click, sharing jokes and glances that made me uncomfortable. Once I even caught Emily smiling at a message from Kyle, and when I asked him about it, he said it was private. I just dismissed it as paranoia due to my trust issues, but the doubt lingered. The new incident made my old suspicions resurface. Kyle became more secretive, always on his phone, which was unusual for him, and Emily started cancelling plans last minute, which wasn't like her. Everything seemed off and my anxiety grew. I confronted Kyle about the call, but he brushed it off as a mistake. But when I asked Emily, she said she didn't even remember calling at all. Their vague answers made me even more anxious. I needed to know the truth, so that's when I decided to consult with a tarot reader from Keen. I browsed Keen's website, searching for the right psychic for my situation. I found one specializing in relationship readings with great reviews. But it was her energy that caught my attention, so I decided to consult with her, hoping she could reveal the truth. I explained my fears and asked for clarity. As she began typing, I just felt a gnawing anxiety, fearing the truth I might hear. She told me the cards speak of betrayal, and my stomach dropped. Then she added, but they also speak of celebration, a union of hearts. Confused and frustrated, I asked, what does that mean? Her vagueness felt like torture. The truth lies in what you choose to see. The betrayal may not be what you think. Sometimes the heart sees what it fears, not what is real, she responded. I left the chat more confused than ever. Over the next few days, her words echoed in my mind, turning every interaction with Kyle and Emily into something sinister. The final straw came when I saw Kyle and Emily together at a coffee shop, speaking in hushed tones. They didn't see me, but I saw enough to confirm the worst. I left in tears. Back home, I felt broken. How could they betray me? But as I paced around, the tarot reader's words returned to me. Celebration? Union of hearts? Could there be another explanation? The next day, I decided to confront them. I know something's going on, I blurted out. Just tell me the truth. Kyle and Emily exchanged a glance, then smiled. We were going to tell you tonight, Emily said softly. Tell me what? I demanded. Kyle pulled out a small velvet box. We've been planning a special anniversary surprise for you. Our 3-year anniversary is next month. Emily helped me because you trust her taste more than mine. My mind reeled as everything fell into place. The strange calls, the secret meetings, the cryptic conversations. It was all for me. I felt a flood of relief and guilt. The tarot reader's words made sense now. The betrayal was actually my own mistrust, twisted by my fears. I hugged them both, tears streaming down my face as the weight of doubt lifted. They've been planning something beautiful for me, not against me. So I realized that sometimes trust means choosing to see love, even when fear blinds you. I hope you enjoyed that little nugget of my personal life, and if you've had thoughts about something you need clarity on, Keen connects you with talented psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you can get a reading whenever it suits you. Just create an account and you'll be able to choose from the hundreds of readers who are online right now. Each reader has unique gifts and specialties, so whether you need insights on love, career, or life in general, they can provide deeper understanding and guidance. Choose whichever reader best suits you and you'll be able to connect with them via phone call or text chat. It's always best to get a personal psychic reading if you'd like more accurate information on your situation, because it is directed only to your energies. Now, here's your chance to get a personalized reading from Keen. As a new customer on Keen, you can try your first 5 minutes for only $1. Go to trykeen.com/psychic siren tarot or click the link in my description box below to receive a discount on your first reading. Thank you, Keen, for bringing this partnership opportunity and for sponsoring today's video. That's trykeen.com/psychic siren tarot or click the link in my description box below to get your own personalized reading today at a huge discount. So, getting back to your pile selection, take a look at all 3 piles we have here today and see which one you're most drawn to, and that will be a pile for today. So for pile number 1, we have Leopard Jasper. For pile number 2, we have Peacock Ore. And for pile number 3, we have Strawberry Obsidian. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. So hopefully by now you have picked a pile for yourself. If not, you can pause the video. You can find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, and then I'll see you at your reading. Hi there, my pile number ones. If you chose this Leopard Jasper crystal and this card, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what makes you unforgettable. So your card is the Page of Wands. Please be aware that this is a general reading, so only take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, then please find my email address in the description box below. So let's go ahead and shuffle your cards. We're going to start out with tarot. We'll also get clarification cards, and then towards the middle of the reading, we'll get some oracle cards for you. So spirit guides of pile number 1. Spirit guides of pile number 1. What makes pile number 1 unforgettable? What makes pile number 1 unforgettable? Spirit guides of pile number 1. What makes them unforgettable? Okay, we have the 6 of Pentacles showing up next. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the 8 of Cups. And we have the 3 of Wands. So can I please get some clarification cards, Spirit? So I'm just going to shuffle and then get cards from the back. Okay, so we have the 6 of Wands showing up next. We have the 3 of Cups. We have the Fool showing up reversed. We have the Knight of Pentacles. And we have the Queen of Wands. And the back of the deck card is the Hanged Man. So what makes you unforgettable, pile number 1? Well, firstly, I'm seeing something about big eyes that are kind of like unforgettable in some way. Something about your big eyes being so cute. Or just eyes, your eyes in general, if you don't have big eyes. But for a lot of you, I'm seeing like very big, beautiful doe eyes, if that makes sense. And you have like this glimmer in your eyes. You have the sparkle in your eyes and a sense of excitement and passion for life. That is something that's unforgettable. But just your whole attitude towards life in general. You seem to me like a very cheerful, optimistic, almost like sunshiny in human kind of form type of energy. Yet at the also at the same time, you're also very sexy. And people can't forget your sexiness. There's something about the way your body looks or the way you kind of carry yourself or express your own sensuality that is unforgettable, but in a good way, because you seem to carry yourself with a lot of confidence here with the Queen of Wands, and you seem empowered within your own confidence, within your own sensuality and self-expression. You also seem to me as someone that's very creative, so something about your creativity could be unforgettable. You also, to me, come across as someone that is very generous and giving with your time and energy. And because of that, you know, people just can't forget you because of the little things you did for them. You might not even remember some of the little things you did for people that just made their day, that just brightened their day. and that they still think back to and they're still grateful for. So that is what I see here with the Six of Pentacles. Now, I also believe that a lot of you use your creativity or your passion to create success for yourself. Like maybe you're working in some kind of career field where you're able to pursue your passions. And that also makes you unforgettable in a way to others, because what I'm seeing here is like you inspire others to kind of go towards your dream. For a lot of you, you're not working like usual normal 9 to 5s. You're following and pursuing your own desires. And you've kind of like taken a leap of faith here with the Fool. You're very unique. You have a unique way of seeing the world. Yet also at the same time, you're not compromising your own wants and desires to please other people. So for some of you, you could have grown up in a scenario where you were maybe expected to work in a certain career field, for example, but you went on your own path, you paved your own path, and you're kind of just doing what you want to do, regardless of how other people feel about it or what other people think you should do. You're living your life authentically. That makes you unforgettable. And you're kind of just paving your own path, moving to the beat of your own drum. And I think that inspires a lot of people that are scared to do their own thing or step outside of the box or be a little bit unique or do something like follow their own dreams or just do something out of the norm or outside of the expectations that others have for them, right? So I see an inspiring energy quite prominently within this pile. You have no idea how many people you have inspired to do things in their own way, to be more unique, to show more of their authentic side of them, to do things that they never thought they could do, and it's paid off. So that's a very interesting thing to see here. And the reason why people find that unforgettable is because they see you as the reason why they did that thing. They see you as the person that inspired them to do that thing, that really paid off for them. So it's almost like they have gratitude for not only themselves, stepping outside of their own comfort zone, which you do a lot. But they're also thankful for you for being that beacon of light and inspiration that almost gave them that sign that they can do it. You're also unforgettable because you seem like a very fun person with the Three of Cups, Page of Wands, Queen of Wands. You're very excitable to be around. You're very fun to be around, fun to go out and drink with, fun to go shopping with, whatever it is. You bring the fun. Whatever it is you're doing, you bring the fun. But there's also something here about like you celebrating other people's wins and not making other people want to celebrate your wins, because you're there for people at their lowest but also their highest moments in life. And it's not like you see them any differently when they're at a low place versus when they're at a high place. You have a lot of integrity, and that makes you unforgettable to people that seek that in their connections, whether that be romantic or platonic. But I see a lot of this energy of you being unforgettable to your friends, to the people you're closest to, because of the way you've treated them and the generosity you give them. Some of you could be content creators, and you could be unforgettable to the audience you have because you bring something unique that nobody else brings, and they get to see that authentic side of you showing through your content, which is not very usual to come across, right? Sometimes people want to show like a perfect image of themselves, but you kind of just are you authentically like your role. You show every part of yourself or every part of your life, um even if it's not perfect, not in a bad way, but kind of like imperfectly perfect. You show the raw human side of you, if that makes sense. And I'm basically getting here a lot of eyes are on you, okay? Or a lot of eyes are on you in public where people perhaps can't even forget you because of your beauty or the way you look and your sexiness, but also your confidence with the Queen of Wands here. You have a lot of courage to go out there and follow your heart's desires, to follow your dreams. You're also a very loyal person, fiercely loyal and protective over the ones you love. You could have protected or stood up for someone that you love, and they will never forget that you kind of just stood up for them and made them feel like you have their back. You are even forgettable to people that have left your life, or people you've cut out of your life, or you've left behind with the Eight of Cups. These are people you no longer have relations to, but they still think of you deeply. And they still think of you quite often, even though you're no longer in their life. They often think back to the happy memories you had together, or the romantic memories you had together, if it was like exes. Um, Even ex-friends, like just the happy, fun moments you had together, maybe even the sad moments of like heartbreak. But I see them mostly trying to remember the good moments with you. You're not much of this planner type A type of personality. You're more of this go with the flow, spontaneous type of personality. At least that's how it's coming through to me in the cards. And that's something that makes you unforgettable, especially to people that may sometimes be quite hard on themselves, in their need to chase perfection, or in their need to sort of have their life together. Or, sometimes people put a lot of their self-worth in how much they can tick off the to-do list, or how much they can achieve. But because you can achieve certain things with the Six of Wands, yet also make time for play, make time for fun, make time for self-care for you, just for you, even just to enjoy your day. The fact that you can be so spontaneous and almost like stop and smell the roses, yet also at the same time, you know when to be serious and put your head down and work. The fact that you can do that and have that balance and be consistent in whatever you're doing shows people that they don't need to constantly be doing to achieve something. They don't need to constantly be perfect to achieve something. I feel like, again, that inspiring energy is coming through, where maybe you've helped people see to not be so hard on themselves, especially if it is coming from a place of disempowerment where they almost feel the need to check off all their to-do lists, where they almost feel the need to be perfect, and they don't feel worthy if they don't feel perfect, or if they don't achieve something, they don't feel worthy. I'm talking about those kinds of people. Again, there's nothing wrong with like being a type A personality, because I love those kind of personalities. I wish I was more like that. But I'm seeing this type of energy where certain people are in that energy, but it's disempowering to them. And it's not disempowering to everyone. Someone can be like that type A organized type of personality, and it can empower them. It can make them feel more put together. It can make their life feel less chaotic. Like I myself am learning to be more organized. But what I am saying here is it's coming from people that are more so disempowered within that, where they have this perfectionistic quality. You kind of teach them that it's okay to just breathe and rest and not put so much pressure on themselves. So this could even just be people that put a lot of pressure on themselves. Doesn't have to be exactly the way I describe, but yeah, it's like you inspire them to know that, okay, I can reach a certain level of success while still enjoying my life and stopping and smelling the roses. I don't have to do everything all the time. So, you have this mix between knowing when to be serious about certain things and knowing when to just kind of be lighthearted and be playful and look at life through the eyes of kind of like a child. And that's something that makes you unforgettable to others. So I think now I'm going to pull your oracle cards. Okay, so I'm hearing my pile number ones that some people really see you as an angel in disguise or an angel in human form. There's also something about you having some kind of growth where you've kind of like bloomed into the most empowered version of self. Like you're constantly becoming the ideal version of self. You're constantly reaching the next level. And it's not even just about physical success, but like your own inner growth that's showing through. That makes you unforgettable because of that inspiration you bring to others. But also that angelic energy. I think you treat people in a way that's so pure-hearted. That comes from like a pure-hearted place that people see you as quite angelic, and that's a reason why they can't forget you. So, Spirit Guides of Pile 1. What makes Pile 1 unforgettable? We have Palace in the reverse with Trust and Ammonite. Okay, we have Moon with Calcite and Transition. And we have Larimar with Neptune and Perspective reversed. A lot of the times you may have different perspectives than other people, and you're not afraid to share your own opinion or what you think of a certain situation. You're also very good at debating with people or just showing people another perspective that they may not usually see. And because of that, it may come across that others are triggered at first because they don't want to be quote unquote wrong. It triggers a part of their ego. But what I've learned over time is that two things can be true at once. While one person can view something in a totally opposite perspective than me, that doesn't make me right or them right. Sometimes we can both be right in our own ways. It's just about being open-minded to other people's perspectives of life because everybody views life differently. And I think that's a gift when you can share that freely with others. Of course, sometimes people may get triggered at first, but if they're open-minded to at least see things from your perspective, I think it can really shift things around for them or make something click for them or give them some kind of opportunity to look at things differently or to gain some kind of new knowledge that they've never had before. Okay, I also see that people that struggle to trust people that have trust issues, people that have been backstabbed, they come into your life and at first you seem almost too good to be true, where they think that you're hiding something, but you're not. Um, Later on, as you reveal more of yourself to them, they see that it isn't too good to be true, that this is as good as it gets, and that you do have those pure intentions. And maybe at first they didn't believe it because they've just been effed over so many times that it's almost like they looked at humanity through the eyes of hurt and pain, and they saw everybody like that. They painted everybody as the villain because they never knew who to trust because they were so full of anxiety and they were so scared. But you made them see that there are people in the world that are good-hearted. You made them see that there are people in the world that we can trust. And not everybody has bad intentions or motives. Some people really do want to love. Some people really do want to care. And some people really do have good intentions. And I think you've shown certain people that there are certain people in your life that can trust you more than they can trust anybody else. Or it's kind of like they can put all their trust in you and not doubt it, even if the future is kind of unknown. And that makes you unforgettable because that's a first for those kinds of people. Okay, with the moon here, I think that people create very deep emotional bonds with you that never fully goes away, even after they've physically left your life. There's still that spiritual connection or bond there. There's still a sense of nostalgia and reminiscing back to past memories. But I also think you've had certain soul contracts with certain people that have left your life where you maybe taught them some kind of lesson that was it was kind of like a lesson they weren't wanting to learn, or the lesson in itself was hidden to them, but you triggered some kind of aspect of growth for them or transformation for them or change for them. Maybe even a change in perspective that you help them grow. So the fact that you triggered maybe like a painful lesson for them. Maybe at first they weren't happy about it, they were triggered by it. I feel like maybe for some of you, you get a lot of like people that are triggered by your presence. And after that trigger goes away and they heal from it, they do then start to appreciate you because you offered them some kind of growth without even doing it intentionally or purposefully. So that is what I do see here. But again, there's like these deep, meaningful connections you create with people that just can't be replaced. And that makes you unforgettable. Because you really make people feel seen on a deeper level. You really make them feel heard on a deeper level. You make them feel loved emotionally. And you meet a lot of people's like emotional needs that haven't been met before. So that also makes you unforgettable. So this was your reading. I really hope this resonated with you. This was a really beautiful reading. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, my pile number twos. If you chose this Peacock Ore crystal and this card, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what makes you unforgettable. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, then please find my email address in the description box below. So your card is the Magician. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle your tarot cards, and after that we'll get your oracle cards. So I am feeling a sensation within the solar plexus, but trying to ask Spirit to confirm what this is about, if this is other people's energy or your energy I'm picking up on. Okay. It is other people's energy. So basically, just for context, the solar plexus deals with our self-worth, the way we view ourselves, and an overall sense of confidence we may have within ourselves. But I'm feeling a blockage or a wound here in other people, and I feel like you may trigger this wound in people, because what I was seeing clairvoyantly was an image of someone eating a sandwich. Silly example of the energy or metaphor of the energy, but like someone's eating a sandwich and the sandwich is so good that it triggers their own insecurity within cooking. But I'm getting this feeling with the Magician, the overall vibe of this card, the way it looks. I'm getting that you're very intimidating to others, but you're also quite seductive in some way and sensual in some way, like, but intimidating at the same time, yet hot at the same time. And that's something that makes you unforgettable to others, like physically, because they see you out in public, but they're too afraid to actually like reveal what they feel towards you, whether that be attraction, whether that be them crushing on you, whether that be them wanting to be your friend. It's kind of like a lot of people hide the way they feel towards you. I wouldn't even be surprised if this was the type of pile where it's like, you're so beautiful that you don't get approached a lot, like that type of unapproachable kind of beauty. And I just wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people like secretly crush on you or secretly harbor certain feelings towards you that they'll never say because of how intimidating you are. So spirit guides of pile number 2. Spirit guides of pile number 2. What makes pile number 2 unforgettable to others? Also in my mind's eye, I'm seeing like a lot of horror kind of movie scenes. So I don't know if a lot of you like horror movies, like magic, witchy kind of vibe. That's what I'm getting for some of you. For others of you, you're very into occult or spirituality, and you have a lot of knowledge on that and expertise on that. It kind of scares some people, but it also fascinates some people. And so I see people finding you unforgettable, maybe because of the things you've taught them there or the things you've said about that. It's not often that you come across people that kind of just openly share that. So not in a bad way or anything like that, but I feel like that's something people find unforgettable, but it's in a positive way. It's coming through positive as like, oh, like you you intrigue me in some way with like your interests, right? We have the Three of Pentacles, and even if it's not the occult or magic, maybe you have certain unique interests that are like intriguing to other people. Okay, we have the Queen of Cups, and we have the Six of Swords. Now I'm going to shuffle for some clarification cards. So Spirit, please give me clarification cards. After I get out all the cards, I'll explain what I see. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Nine of Pentacles. We have the Eight of Pentacles. So many Pentacle cards. The Devil, which again, the seductive energy is coming through. Five of Wands reversed. And at the back of the deck, we have the Seven of Cups. Okay, so me mentioning those insecurities you brought up in people, I don't feel like it's just people of the same sex, but it's also coming from the gender you're attracted to. You may have that intimidating, unapproachable kind of beauty, like I said before, where people are afraid to confront you or afraid to tell you how they feel. And a lot of the times when people crush on you or like you, or admire you from afar, whether that be romantic or platonic, I feel like a lot of the times they put you on such a pedestal that they almost just don't feel good enough for you, that they almost just don't feel worthy of your attention. Sometimes people even feel like you're out of their league, like you wouldn't even like them. So what's the point of even trying or going up to you and talking to you? Some of you may have been single for a very long time and may be wondering, like, why does nobody ever like approach me in public? And I think that's the reason, because there's something about you having that unapproachable kind of beauty where you're just so beautiful that people almost just feel like you wouldn't like them. Okay, with the Queen of Cups, I think you're someone that has this very sensitive side, almost like a poetic type of side to you. You're also very deep and mysterious, and that makes you unforgettable. Your mystery intrigues people as well and draws people in like magnets. You have this sensitive, soft side to you, yet also a tough, mysterious, strong, independent side to you as well. You have a side to you that's soft, that can sort of rely and count on other people or lean on other people, but you also have another side of you that seems very empowered and just independent and like self-sufficient, where you can do things for yourself and not necessarily need others. Yet at the same time, you know where to find the balance there, where it's like, you know when to count on others or lean on others when you need them, but you also know how to not need others at the same time. I know that sounds contradictory, but what I'm basically getting here is like, you maybe rely on others for like emotional support, but when it comes to certain things in life, you're going to do it by yourself or on your own, unless you really, really, really need their help, where it's like you've tried everything on your own. I think that people see you as quite unforgettable because of that, because there's this feeling here of like other people looking at you and you being so self-sufficient, where let's say you're going through a problem financially and you're trying to create more resources for yourself there, you're trying to work harder, you're first trying to complete that goal on your own before you go to others for help. And I think that almost teaches people that, okay, even if you have a problem, you know, you can solve it, you can work it, you can work it out, you can sort of change your circumstance if you put in the work. But you also teach people that sometimes when you've tried everything that you can try and it just doesn't work, that we can almost just lean on others for support and help, right? I think for you're learning to be, I'm trying to explain this energy because I feel like maybe in the past you may have been like very hyper independent, and you kind of switch between those extremes where like at one point you're hyper independent, at one point you're overly codependent on others. And I think for some of you, you had people in your life that maybe made you feel bad for asking for help, or made you feel like you owe them something. And maybe that's why there's like this stubbornness of like, I'm going to do it on my own. I'm not going to ask for help. Or some kind of situation hurt you to the point where you felt like you couldn't depend on others, right? But at one point in your journey, you started working on yourself, healing wounds around that. And I feel like you're learning to become more soft, less guarded when it comes to relationships. And you're learning to kind of just feel safe within healthy connections that are going to offer you that support and love, where they're not going to hold it against you or be manipulative about it or toxic about things. And I think maybe if you had a lot of toxic connections in your life with the devil, um, although you seem like this intimidating, confrontational person, you're not very confrontational with the Five of Wands reverse. And you may have had like a lot of toxic people in your life that just kind of took you for granted, or did certain manipulative things to you, or certain toxic things to you that were not okay, but they kind of just did it because they thought you wouldn't do anything back, or they thought you wouldn't stand up for yourself. But ever since you've cut these people out of your life, it's taught them to not take people for granted. And they almost regret the things they've done to you. I don't think they've fully changed, but I think they regret the things that were done to you and they miss you. And now that you're gone out of their life, they are starting to appreciate what they've lost. So you may have had people in your life that took you for granted, that didn't appreciate what you gave them. And when you left their life, it's like all of a sudden now they're starting to appreciate it. They're starting to realize they took you for granted. They're wanting to change, whereas when they were in your life, they didn't want to change, you know? So um I feel like you're unforgettable to those types of people because they kind of see you as that one that got away, or the one that they regret doing those things to. And there's kind of like this wish here of like, what if I didn't do this, we would still be together. Um and that kind of plays on in their mind and makes them unable to forget you. But something about this changed here, where maybe you've learned to become more confrontational, you've learned to speak your truth more. You've kind of just learned how to have a balance between, you know, knowing when to forgive others and give others grace versus knowing when to put your foot down and set a boundary. Because sometimes someone can make a mistake and not mean to do something to us, and we need to know when to differentiate between that versus when someone's taking advantage and we need to put our foot down. So I feel like you've learned to do that. There's been this change within you, where you've just become a little bit less afraid of confrontation. And because of that, that makes you unforgettable, because a lot of people that maybe struggle with the same thing are seeing you change, and it's maybe showing them that they can too. Okay. I also think people that have a lot of unhealed wounds or trauma, that have seen you kind of heal from the things you've gone through, um, it sort of shows them that there's hope at the end of the tunnel. So you're also unforgettable to people like that because of that. You've also worked on yourself a lot, cut out a lot of bad habits. There's been a lot of self accountability that has taken place within your healing and growth journey, in order for you to step out of bad habits or bad coping mechanisms that don't align to the ideal version of self you want to be. And that requires a lot of self accountability, in order to get out of that. And you've done that. And that also makes you unforgettable because people see that as rare. A lot of people don't want to take accountability for their own actions. A lot of people want to blame the other person or blame the outside circumstances. But yeah, you don't do that. And you also don't have much of an ego, which makes you also unforgettable to others. I think that also, like, your achievements make you unforgettable, not just because it's an achievement, but it's more so coming through here as like, oh, you did this on your own. Maybe you didn't have all these finances in the beginning. Maybe you didn't start off privileged, but you created it for yourself. The reason I say so is because we have the Magician here, which is about the energy of creation, manifestation. The Nine of Pentacles is all about a self-made energy. And the Ten of Pentacles reversed here tells me that you didn't grow a privilege, or you didn't have things kind of just handed to you. You worked for it yourself with the Eight of Pentacles. And because of that, you achieve something. So that shows people that if you can do it, I can do it too. No matter where I'm starting out, I can build towards that. So I think because of that, that makes you very unforgettable, not just because of the achievement, but because of the message of like, if I can do this, you can do it too, if that makes sense. So I feel like you've taught a lot of people that of whatever you've done, they can do too. Okay, but I also see here that sometimes, because you're so beautiful, now a lot of you might not see yourselves this way, as like um this kind of beauty that is almost unapproachable. I think you are. I think you are. But because of that, a lot of people may sometimes project certain things onto you that are untrue. Like that you just want to show off, or that you are kind of like just full of yourself or something like that. But because you're not like that, when they really get to know you, they realize that they shouldn't have judged you or projected that onto you just because of the way you look. And then they start to actually feel bad for that. And the reason why they can't forget that moment is because it teaches them not to actually judge a book by its cover. Um, I feel like a lot of the things that make you unforgettable are things you've taught to other people. Not even through you preaching it, but by you just living by it, if that makes sense. And showing people, kind of like being a good role model to other people, if that makes sense. You also have a very beautiful soul, a very beautiful energy, a very beautiful heart that is unforgettable. I do think people tend to obsess over you when they can't forget you, if that makes sense. And you're irreplaceable, pile number 2 as well. You have a lot of people feeling this way about you, by the way. So let me go ahead and pull your oracle cards now. I keep getting that message about your beauty and the way you look, because Spirit is showing me Marilyn Monroe right now. And of course, Marilyn Monroe was known for other things, but she was kind of like that sex symbol, and she was known for her beauty. Um, of course, she did acting and other things, but I feel like people still kind of even just remember her to this day. So maybe there's something about you being like so unforgettable to the point where people would remember you years and years and years and years later and still talk about you or still think about you. Again, there's a feeling of obsession here that you bring out in others with the devil. I feel like you have that effect on others. Okay, spirit guides of pile number 2. Spirit guides of pile number 2. What makes pile 2 unforgettable? We have the direction card in the reverse with Super 7 and Alrisha Star. We have Tangerine Quartz with the solar plexus chakra and Shakti. And we have Aragonite with the fire element and initiation. So I feel like you initiate people onto a new path. You kind of teach other people where to go next when they're feeling confused or when they lack clarity. And I feel like that's part of your purpose. It's not your full purpose, but it's part of your purpose. You're here to kind of like lead by example and be like a good role model to others. But I feel like a lot of people have seen you be at a place once where you were directionless, where you didn't know where to go, where you were confused about what you wanted in life. And before you even started manifesting things with the magician, you were confused. You didn't know what directional path you wanted to go on. And you didn't quite know who you were yet, or what you wanted yet, or what you don't want yet. And I think as you went on that path of like getting to know yourself and trying to figure out who you are and what you want from life, I think after you realize what you want, that's when you started actually like taking action towards it and manifesting it for yourself with the magician. Because you started out from that place where you were directionless to now this point where you know what you want and you go after it, that also teaches people that sometimes it's okay to not know. Sometimes it's okay to be directionless, because that is the best kind of part where we actually get to figure out what we do want, where we get to explore a part of ourselves that we've never seen before. Where we get to try new things we've never tried before, get outside of our comfort zone, be a little bit more spontaneous. And I feel like you initiate growth within people, you initiate new beginnings within people's lives because of the way you kind of lead by example. Also, the solar plexus here came out, so I feel like you trigger certain people's solar plexus wounds in order to bring a transformation with the snake so that they can heal this wound. So if you trigger a lot of insecurities and envy within people, see that as you triggering the wound to bring healing to it, because they are unhealed in their sense of self or in their sense of self-confidence. And because they're unhealed and they're wounded there, in order to heal that wound, they need to be triggered. So it's not always a bad thing. But I think just keep your distance from people that are very insecure, because they may project onto you a lot or take that out onto you. So yeah, I feel like this is my pile of people that I've dealt with a lot of jealousy and envy from others, kind of like unprovoked. People kind of just project onto you unprovoked. And yeah, it's because of envy and because of insecurities you bring out in others, but you bring them a healing there. Okay, I also feel like you maybe bring awakenings to people or new spiritual initiations to people through either triggering them, their insecurities, or through kind of like teaching them by going on your own path, right? So that is what I'm seeing here for you. You've told people that it's okay to start out in the beginning and not know what to do or not know where to go, but as we grow, as we get to know ourselves better, as we find our passions, things will start becoming clearer, and then we can go on that path actually and have a plan. But we can't actually go on a path when we don't even know what the plan is, or we don't even know where we want to go yet. So I feel like you've kind of put that into perspective for other people. So I really hope this reading resonated with you, pile number 2. Please let me know in the comments down below how it resonated for you. Please also don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, my pile number 3s. If you chose the strawberry obsidian crystal in this card, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what makes you unforgettable. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. Your card is the 4 of Wands. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, then please find my email address in the description box below. So I'm going to shuffle your tarot cards first. After that, we will take a look at your oracle cards. So firstly, I heard for you, well, firstly, I actually felt your energy and I got goosebumps from how good your energy felt. So I feel like one thing that's unforgettable about you is your energy and the vibe you bring to people. And then I heard you left your mark on people. You kind of impacted certain people in a way that you might not even be able to fathom, but in positive ways. Okay, so let's get your cards. Spirit guides of pile number 3. Spirit guides of pile number 3. I'm even seeing something like an image clairvoyantly where it's like you'll stay in people's hearts and you'll never leave their heart. It's like you've kind of left your mark on their heart. And it's reminding me of that song Tattooed Heart by Ariana Grande. Well, I don't think Ariana Grande sings it, but I think I don't know if she sings it or she made a cover of it, but it's reminding me of that song. So spirit guides of pile number 3. What makes them unforgettable? So basically, like, you're someone that kind of just stays stuck on people's hearts, even when they try to forget you. You'll never leave their heart. Okay, spirit guides of pile number 3. What makes pile 3 unforgettable? You also have unique quirks about you that make you you, that people associate to the thought of you. So I'm seeing an example here of someone that is a coffee fanatic. They love coffee. They drink coffee every single day. They always have a cup of coffee in their hand. Now, every time someone sees coffee, they're going to associate that thing they're seeing to you, right? That's an example of the energy, but it doesn't have to be exactly like that. Take it as it resonates. We have the world, we have temperance. What makes pile 3 unforgettable? We have the King of Swords and we have the Tower. Now I'm going to shuffle some clarification cards. Give me clarification cards, Spirit. We have the High Priestess. We have the Sun. I don't know why I'm seeing like the Met Gala, but like I'm seeing like you know when celebrities go to the Met Gala and they kind of like wear these very fashionable outfits that almost makes people go like, wow, maybe there's something about your style that makes you unforgettable. Like you have this unique kind of style that is very creative in some way, if that makes sense. Like you're very self-expressive through your fashion. Maybe you express parts of your personality or your self through your clothing and your style. And that kind of just makes you unforgettable because people always remember the outfits you put together. That's random, but that's what I see. I don't know if I said all these cards. So we have the High Priestess, the Sun, the Star, 2 of Wands, 7 of Wands reversed, and we have the Queen of Swords at the back of the deck. There's certain things you've said to certain people that is unforgettable. They'll always remember the words you said to them. Now, your words can be kind of like a double-edged sword, since we have the King of Swords and Queen of Swords here at the back of the deck. This can represent your words being able to make people flourish or break them down. So choose your words wisely, because I feel like you've maybe said certain things to people that have been good, that have maybe healed them, that have shown them something about themselves, that have made them feel loved. But if someone gets on your bad side and pisses you off, maybe you would say something to trigger them or to say something you wouldn't mean out of anger. Just be careful of that, because that can stay stuck in people's minds. And I think maybe at one point someone did something to piss you off and you said something to them that may have not been the best, and they still remember it, and they still kind of feel sad about it whenever they remember what you said, because it hit deep. It kind of it was like your words cut like a knife. But I don't see much of that energy. I actually see that most of the things you have said to people have been quite positive, and they remember a lot of the positive things you said to them that made their day, or that just made them smile, that made them really happy. So like, let's say, simple example, you gave someone a compliment on something and they really needed that day. Maybe they felt really insecure that day and you had no idea, and they really needed that, and you just made their day. Now they'll always remember that compliment you gave them because it just made them feel so good inside. Or let's say you said to someone how loved they are, and they'll always remember that because they really needed to hear it that day. Because I feel like here with the High Priestess, you sometimes say things to people that they're meant to hear, that they need to hear. it's kind of like you sense it energetically that they need to hear that in that moment, and it fills their hearts with so much joy. I feel like crying tears of joy, being in those people's energies because they just appreciate what you said so much, because they really needed it in that moment. And you just had that idea in your mind at the moment, like, I just feel like I need to say that. There's a reason you felt that way, because your intuition was telling you that. Okay, I'm also seeing something about your smile and your laughter being unforgettable. There's something very beautiful about your smile, but it's not just the physicality of the smile, it's the energy behind that smile you hold. There's also something about your growth as a person making you unforgettable. You've let go of a lot of things that just were holding you back and not empowering you, or not making you feel your best, right? Um, and because of that, you let it go, you grew, and it took a very long time to come to this place where you're at right now. You might think that you haven't grown that much, but when other people see the past version of you versus who you are right now, they see that growth, and that also makes you unforgettable. Why? Because a lot of people in your pile feel like they're stuck where they're at. This is just what I feel energetically. They feel like they're stuck where they're at. They feel like they can't make changes in their life. You've made changes. Because of that, you show them that, okay, maybe I'm not stuck in my ways. Maybe I'm not stuck in these old ways. Maybe I can change. Maybe I can grow out of it. But I just need to be patient with myself, because Pal 3's growth journey took like 3 years or 5 years or months. So I just need to be patient with myself, and I need to speak to myself kindly, and I can grow like them too, you know? So that's kind of coming through like that. There's certain ideas that you've had that have been groundbreaking, that have been kind of like very innovative. You have a very innovative side to you, and that makes you unforgettable. There's certain ideas you've executed that makes you unforgettable. There's sort of trends you've set that make you unforgettable. I don't know what that relates to, but you are kind of like a trendsetter, at least in other people's eyes. And that also makes you unforgettable, because a lot of people look to you as like their source of inspiration. It's very different to Pile 1, because Pile 1 was inspiring, but I think you're also inspiring. But in this reading, I'm picking up on an energy like, every time I feel unmotivated, I'm going to go think about Pile number 3, and that's going to inspire me. Or every time I don't have ideas, I'm going to look at Pile 3's ideas and try to figure out what ideas I not can take from that, but can create of my own from that. So something about that's coming through. That can be within anything at all. It can be within your creativity, it could be within your work, your fashion, whatever it is. You just have really great ideas that are unforgettable to others. Okay, there's also this energy of you being someone that vibrates at this certain level, that I feel like you have this high frequency energy. And I feel like your energy is quite healing in some way, and quite soft in some way. Like, you help people let their guard down, you help people feel safe. Especially people that have been through a lot, people that have been through a lot of trauma, that struggle to trust others or struggle to let their guard down. It's like you make them feel safe enough to let their guard down, to not have to like run away from love, or to not have to run away from connection because of fear that they'll get hurt again. You're a very trustworthy person, and because of that, those kinds of people feel like you're kind of like their safe space, or I want to say emotional support animal. You're not an animal, of course, but you're human. But I mean, like, that is a metaphor. Like, they kind of see you like that in a way. But of course, you're human. But I hope you get what I mean. I'm not trying to offend anybody. But that's what I'm seeing. I'm also seeing that you could be kind of like the life of the party. You're very fun to be around. And a lot of events or parties you've been to where you've just brought that fun type of vibe and energy to them, people will never forget those funny moments with you because you just made their whole night or you made their whole day. So that's something I see quite prominently in which, like, let's say you did something really funny and people still tell that story to this day about what you did, and it makes other people laugh. I'm seeing an energy like that where you're the topic of a lot of people's conversations because of maybe things you've done or said that were funny or fun, and people will just never forget that memory because it makes them smile. It brings a lot of happiness to them. It brings a lot of like laughter as well. So yeah, maybe you're also like good at making jokes where people will always remember the joke you said. But I also feel like when it comes to things you've said to people, there have been certain times in your life where you have been honest with people and you gave them the truth and they needed to hear the truth. They didn't want to hear the truth. They weren't ready to hear the truth, but they needed to hear it. They didn't want to hear it, but they needed to hear it. And somehow your truth broke their whole world down in some way with a tower, but eventually it led to their growth. It led to them changing or seeing something within themselves that they were kind of in denial of, and allow them to take self-accountability for their own actions or their own doing. And because of that, you helped facilitate change within them or some kind of growth or a new perspective of some kind. So that is something I definitely see. Something about the lipstick you wear or certain products you wear, like let's say you have a perfume you wear, and every time people smell it, they associate that to you. I'm getting this energy with you of like something you do or say, now they associate that thought to you in their mind. So let's say you like eating bubblegum a lot. Now every time they see bubblegum, they think of you. Like, I'm getting that type of energy where people will associate certain things with the thought of you. And every time they see that thing, they remember you, right? So let's get your oracle cards now. You also shine bright in your own way, and you don't let anybody dim that light of yours. You don't let anybody like dim that spark that you have within. So I feel like people remember you for that spark you have, for the way you kind of just shine and don't make yourself small, the way you kind of just take up space. We have healing in the reverse with Chiron and Spirit Quartz. We have sun in the reverse with Clarity and Citrine. So it's interesting that we have the sun showing up twice within the Oracle and Tarot cards. We have Herkimer Diamond with Earth Star Chakra and Alignment. Okay, I think your healing journey hasn't been easy. The diamond reminds me of how, the diamond is created under pressure and then it becomes something that's so valuable later on. So it reminds me here of like you going through a lot of pressure or challenges in life and not letting that break you down, but instead taking that and healing from it, even if it isn't easy, even if it feels like this is such a big wound that how can I even heal from this? I'm hearing a song by Kali Uchis, and I'm not sure what the song name is exactly, but I'm hearing a specific line from one of her songs where she goes like, something along the lines of the wound being so big that she's made so many songs, she's tried to heal, but it always feels like this wound is unhealable. She didn't say it in those exact words, but she said something along those lines like that. So if you know that song, let me know down in the comments. But basically, I'm getting this vibe here that you took whatever happened to you that felt like you couldn't heal from it. It felt so painful, and you healed and grew from it anyways over a period of time. Maybe at one point you even struggled to find happiness during that phase of healing. It's kind of like a dark cloud was over you But you found your happiness again. Maybe some of you lost your spark and you found it again. I'm getting that for some of you. And because you did that, I think people now can kind of see that, okay, even if I have a wound that's so big, I can always heal this. It's never too much to heal. And this has been a theme within all three piles where it's like kind of gotten messages that maybe someone taught them something, or they kind of showed them something that this is, with you, it's like this is not too big to heal. Anything can be healed with just time, not just time, but also going within and processing that emotion. You've also taught or showed people that no matter how many challenges there are in life, sometimes those challenges can shape you into maybe a better person, or can bring some kind of character development to you. There's also this energy of I don't need to force things, I just flow. And whatever needs to happen will happen, and I'm just flowing with it, and whatever is meant to me will come to me. So maybe you're holding that kind of mindset right now, and that's also showing other people that whatever's in alignment with them, you don't need to force it to happen. It will happen naturally. Even if there are challenges down the road, it will still happen. It won't need to be forced. So that's the energy and vibe I'm getting here from you of what makes you unforgettable. Kind of something you've shown people. With the sun in reverse, I also feel like you're unforgettable to people that have maybe lost their spark, or have maybe lost their overall sense of happiness or joy for life. That have felt like their wounds are too big to heal. I feel like you maybe show them that it's possible to find joy again, that it's possible to find your spark again, that it's possible to find happiness again, even after that dark moment. Some people that are genuinely unhappy with life may almost see you being happy and envy you for that, and that may also make you unforgettable, but more in a negative way, because it's kind of like you remind them of what they don't have within themselves. People can choose to be triggered by that, or choose to see that as something positive that shows them that they can have it too. But I feel like some people don't take it as a positive thing. And it's because they're unhealed. They're coming from an unhealed place. But I feel like some people look at it negatively, where it's almost like that saying, misery loves company, where they try to make you almost miserable. So just stay away from people like that, because a lot of the times they kind of have resentment towards you because you have happiness but they don't, or at least it's perceived that way by them. So just be careful of people like that that always try to bring you down, or always try to bring misery into your life, or are just like very pessimistic or negative, that they would affect you that way too. Don't let people like that affect you. They find you unforgettable, but maybe not in a positive way. So that is all I'm getting for you, pile number 3. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how it resonated down below in the comments. And I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.